So, we're talking about this theme this week, reflecting on Bishop Jeff's sermon, right, on God feeding us physically, spiritually, God providing for us. And I go to, there's some that are standard, shall we say. I'd say one of these is pretty standard this week. I try to give us some curveballs. The standard one will be Thursday. You'll have to wait on that one. But today I turn to Genesis chapter 41. I would read, but it's a longer passage. I'm kind of summarized. This is the story of Joseph, right? Interpreting Pharaoh's dream. He's been sold into slavery. He's been put in prison. He's had a rough go, right? It's been looking bad. A lot of what is this going on for Joseph with God. But in this moment, God gives Joseph this gift of interpreting dreams. And is able to interpret Pharaoh's dreams of the fat cows and the skinny cows, right? And is able to say, we're in 7 years of prosperity, but we're going to have 7 years of famine. We got to be ready. See, it's two layers going on here, okay? Our base layer is that God is providing for Joseph in his time of need. He's feeding him with gifts, wisdom. He's giving him hope, even though, that's the thing, Joseph maintains hope a lot of time, but it would be hard too, given what he's gone through. But God is with him and stays with him. And so we have that level of feeding. Then we have the second layer, the frosting on our cake, if you will, right? Where God is feeding the people, in this case of Egypt, knowing that there will be years of famine. We got to stock up now so we're ready for those days. And this does come to pass. This is kind of near the ending of the Joseph story. It's how the Israelites end up actually in Egypt. It sets up Exodus. Anyway, this is an interesting story to me. Because like I said, God is feeding so many here. Literally, so many, right? The masses of Egypt, they're able to save the people. Sometimes, notice, God doesn't guarantee there won't be a famine. In fact, 7 years of famine. I've seen this meme going around. It's Ramses going like this. And it's Ramses after you complain after one plague. Right? Bad things are still going to happen. Famines are still going to happen. Pandemics are still going to happen. Bad things will happen to good people. That's unfortunately the broken world that we live in. But God promises to feed us and help us get us through this. God uses feeding. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself here Anyway, I'm going to start preaching. But in this case, stick to this passage, Zach. God feeds us for the days ahead. I think it relates to the rest video we had last week about following Jesus, making sure we're resting before the big things that are to come. Well, it's not just we'll rest. God also is feeding us in that time. God is stuffing our spiritual backpack, if you will, full of bread. That's the last metaphor here. Lord of the Rings, right? Haven't used Lord of the Rings. I've used a lot of Star Wars. I've used a lot of my favorites, but Lord of the Rings, not our favorite. Right? The Fellowship of the Ring, stock up at the Elven Woods, and if you're completely lost, just stick with me. And they fill up with lembas bread. It's elven bread, right? And so Sam and Frodo head on their own to the wilderness. They have to destroy the Ring of Power. They have to go to the Mount Doom, the bad place, right, to be able to destroy the ring from where it was made, so the world can be saved, right? General synopsis. And for their journey, they load their backpack full of lembas bread, to the point they get a little sick of it through their journey. But it is that bread that keeps them going. And they eat a lot. They eat 6 meals of it. So God is kind of like that lembas bread. It's always there, stuffing our backpack, giving us the strength to go forward to the things we need to do. Though not as dramatic as destroying an evil ring of power. But you get the point. So, I've gone on long enough. Tomorrow, we'll continue exploring how God feeds us. In fact, sometimes in spite of us. That'll be fun. Join us.